Good morning, Flosstube. My name is Laura, and I'd like to welcome you to Stitching by the Shore, my channel all about cross stitch with a little bit of paper crafting thrown in too. If you are new, I'd like to say welcome. Thank you so much for pressing play. I hope you like what you see, and I would love to know more about you and what you like to stitch. And if you're a returning stitching friend, thank you so much for being here and just sharing cross stitch with me. It is such a wonderful community, and I am extremely grateful to be part of it. So thank you. Okay, so I have my usual number of projects that I worked on. I had one start this week, so I've done one start for the month of June so far. No finishes. I tried for one, and there was just was a little bit too far away. So I'll show you what I've got to, and lots of hashtags. As I was making my notes, I realized that honestly now I probably could fit any project into a hashtag if we really wanted to. There's a lot of stitch-alongs out there, but as long as I remember, I will share them as I go along. And I do list in the description box below. There is an Instagram account. I think it's Cross Stitch Calendar, and it is a calendar of all of the stitch-alongs that they know about. I mean, if you're hosting one and you want them to post it on your on their page, just reach out to them and let them know. Okay, so I did have an extra video this past week if you were interested in the I Spy challenge game. If not, no worries, just skip right by it. I go through the 10 prompts for the month of June, and I go through what I chose for my stitching, and you will see some of that in this week's video of projects that I chose. And then when I go with plans, I will show you again where I am and go from there and talk about anything else coming up this month for kind of challenges and things like that. So stay tuned for that. Okay, the artist trading card deadline for the swap was June 1st. I know some people reached out and sent it, a little bit later. No problem. Thank you so much for letting me know. If you had one and for some reason you just didn't get to it this past week, if you can get it out very, very soon, reach out to me and let me know, but it would have to be very, very soon in order for it to get here by the beginning of the month, and then I can do all of the switching and so on and so forth. And I will wait to the end of June before I will do my extra and show you all of the wonderful ones that have come in. It's the our mail people really love flying by the house and not stopping, so they must hate when this time comes around, because I keep getting pieces of lovely mail, and so they have to keep stopping rather than just zipping right by. So there's that. And then I just wanted to show you, I have 2 left in the series, and so as the months come along, I've been putting them out. This is Country Cottage Needleworks, and it is their monthly cottages. It's several years old, I think, the series. And I think March and April need to be stitched. Yeah, I started April, haven't started March. So I have some time, but I would like to get them done. These were originally being stitched for my mom, but where she is, she can't have the stuff out. She could have the stuff out. It distresses her if things aren't certain ways, so we're not going to distress her. I originally had them planned where they would go on a little clippy thing, so that's why there's more space top than bottom. I don't mind anyway. Sometimes I like complete matched borders and other times not. So these are now leaners that I put on my shelf. So May is gone, and here we are with June. And just the simple, I not even anything fancy, just some felt on the back, but it's just the 2 layers of stitching and then some fabric on the comic book board. So that's that. That's my previous finish. This year I will show those just to kind of, like I said, I have the rest of the year. I'm pretty sure they're all finished. So it'll be fun just to show you as I change them out for each month. Let's get going. So I am going to start with the big reveal. Now, if you follow me on Instagram, you would have seen it already. I forgot to put it on Facebook. Again, I probably would have forgotten Instagram also, except I saw other people posting it. And that is Garden of Zig. So for the very last time, I will talk to you about the Secret Sal from Garden of Zig. So the Hathaway Stitchers, Erin and Amity, had put out a challenge in March of basically take this Ink Circles Garden of Zig, which is beautiful in its own right, and then change all of the colors, change the colors to anything you want. It doesn't have to be a like for like. Do whatever you want with it. Change the colors, change the fabric, and not show anybody. And you know, as I was stitching along with it, I was telling you my percentages. Now I had it finished, but the reveal was the 31st-ish. We actually did a June 1st kind of call, Zoom call. Some people were able to attend and showed in person, so to speak, and some sent pictures or videos and things like that. So it was so much fun. They did film that call, and so I assume they edit. Unlike me, they do the fancy editing. So I'm sure it takes a lot longer. Me, it just goes. Whatever you get is what you get, frankly. All right, so ready? Here we go. So this is mine. Now it's so funny because when you watch the video, there's so many awesome ways that people did this, and you think, oh gosh, that's awesome, I should have done that, or I should have done this. But I have to say, I'm pretty happy with mine. I did, I know, surprisingly go with the neutral fabric. This is 18 count Artemis from Bestitchme. And I don't know if I originally quickly settled on a red, white, and blue kind of theme. So this is a nod to patriotic. I think originally, I think pretty early on I did, but I struggled with the idea of how I wanted to do it. At first I was going to do, well, my very first thought was, would I want to do monochromatic? Because you know how much I love that, but I didn't know what I would do for color. So I moved on from that. And then I thought, okay, I'll do all of the big flowers one color and the little one another color. And I was at that point thinking about the whole red, white, and blue. And then I was like, I'll take each flower, red, then white, then blue, then red, then white, then blue. And that seemed like a lot. And some colors you wouldn't see much and others you would see more. And then I thought, well, there's 3 rows and 3 colors. I really want the red and the blue to pop. So we'll keep the white in the middle, and then we'll just do top and bottom. So I did use floche, and I did keep them in my bag here so I could show you. If you are new, I have discovered DMC floche, and I really do like it. It's one-stranded. It's a thicker, I think it's still cotton floss. Yes, cotton floche, 100% cotton. Yep. But it's just thicker. So on 18 count, I use 1 strand. So for my red, white, and blue, let me show you those. And they're the same numbers as the DMC, the regular 6-strand DMCs. So you had 321 blanc, let me flip that over, and 823, which I love that blue. So those are the 3 that I used for the red, white, and blue colors. And these are already cut. They don't come like this, but I did the cut. And I'm telling you, it's so awesome this way. And you just pull. So this is the length of the strand I use. And I just pull each time I go. Now I had used fresh floche hanks, or whatever you want to call them. So obviously there's a lot left. And then the green, I struggled a little bit. I was going to do 2 different greens, and I did, in fact, stitch 2 greens on there to see, and I wasn't loving it. And I ended up with 3346. That is, I do like that 3346. That's one that I really like. And then I didn't want much in the center between the rows, so I actually ended up with a kind of a lighter gray, and that's 318. So these are the 5 colors that I ended up using. And they're all floche. Now, there's not a floche for every single one DMC. There's some that I wish they had, to be honest with you. And I don't know if the line is set at what it is at the moment. But that's my colors. So again, here we go. I really do like how it came out. The hardest part, especially when you're doing the colors, is not being able to ask anybody for opinions. I would have so asked you all how you thought it was as we were going along so that I would, get some feedback. But I just had to kind of trust that what I was doing was right. I'm of 2 minds of fully finishing this, so we'll see what happens with it. But if you are super interested in seeing how versatile this pattern is, when the Hathaway Stitchers, and I will link them in the description box, when they come out with the video from that, I really suggest you watch it. And Flosstubers are now, those that had participated, a lot of them are now showing on their videos. So this week so far, I have seen Karen, Stitching Owl. She showed hers. Jen from Jen's Fiber Web showed hers. Stephanie and Allison on Cross Stitch the Globe showed theirs. Have I seen anybody else show theirs on Flosstubes? My brain's a little fuzzy. Sleep was a little bit off. I was at Walmart at 7 a.m. this morning. I was up and out early. So I'm sure there's more. There's possibly more, and I'm just not thinking of them at the moment, and I apologize. But I'm just going to say zig, so I write my self-notes. But it's so fun to see everybody. Oh, Melanie, sorry, Melanie from Uplift Stitches. She showed it as well, I know. And then I just probably haven't seen some yet. I am, as usual, behind in my floss tubes. But it is absolutely amazing the number of different ways you can do this. And I think some of these flowers are gorgeous, and they would be beautiful stitched on their own. And you could do, you know, a little ornament or a little small. You could probably do a bunch of little, now this is 18 count, so you can make it bigger. You could probably do a bunch of like a little garden of pillows or something or other, and just do some sort of lovely color palette. And you could put them in some sort of bowl or something or other. So lots of options with that. And I had a lot of fun with it. And we will see if there is any new one in the horizon. If they do talk about it, you know, I will let you know here if you're interested in giving it a go. Okay, so that's Garden to Zig for the very last time. Well, unless I can get myself together and fully finish it, then you'll see it fully finished. Alrighty, next. I pulled out Arabesque from Hicks Creates. There is a hashtag for this one, hashtag Arabesque Sal. If you'd like to join Beth, the Steadfast Stitcher, and I, and Paula from Stitching in High Heels. Paula, I don't want to forget you. And here we go. Here's mine. This is done on an 18 count unnamed fabric, so I don't know the name or who it's by. Very rarely do I not have anything attached, because even if it came in a plastic that had the label like stuck on it, a lot of times I cut out that, excuse me, and then I'll attach it to the fabric, but I must have gotten rid of it. And I am using a variegated floss. It's called Elvin Wine, and it is from Stitchy Stuff Co. So if I grab, I'm still on the first, I ended up getting a couple of skeins first because I wanted to make sure, you know, I was checking colors at the time. And then I did end up buying a hank, but I'm only on the first skein yet. So that's what the floss is. This one, I have made so many counting errors. It is really unbelievable. I mean, and I make counting errors with the best of them, but I'm one of those that checks and double checks a lot of times as I'm going along with things off of other things, just to kind of make sure my counting is right. And for whatever reason, and what's super funny is this swoosh here, I know I counted wrong, but I've made it work. And then, so this time around I was doing this swoosh, and luckily as I was doing it and counting things off, I realized, oh yeah, that one was off. So I kind of made that one off. So there was a lot of kind of finagling kind of thing in that. But it works. It looks fine. When I'm done, I'll forget it's even there, to be honest with you. And I'll just keep plugging along on this. I really love this one. This is a new one from this year. And it was my favorite market release. So I knew as soon as I saw it, I had to have it. I'm trying to think. Do you remember if I bought, I don't think I bought a ton of the new market releases. I bought some. But I have so many great projects, you know. You want to do those first, and then it's tough to decide what to start. Something that's been sitting here for a while or just the new shiny project that comes out. Well, I did know I wanted to start Carolyn's Balloons Spring on the first day of spring, so I did. And I do have summer slated to be started on the first day of summer, so that will be a June start this year, couple weeks from now, actually. Autumn and winter are done, so those I don't have to worry about. This is done on the same fabric as autumn. And is it upside down? No. Okay. You will actually, this doesn't look like I did much if you watched my I Spy video, but that's because I actually had stitched some before I filmed the video. So there's more here than there would have been. This whole spring is new, and then I started with that. And yeah, that's probably it, actually. And this is 18 count car wash from Fortnight Fabrics. And I've mentioned this before. When I get all 4 done, they will be part of a 4-part collection in the scrapbook. And this one is, it's not as dark modeling as that, but you can definitely see the modeling in person, just it's a little bit more subtle. But I really like it for like the whole balloon sort of scene, because then it looks like they're flying in the sky with clouds. And then we'll have the little town down here. So I actually started with some of this with the town. I may go across and then work my way up again. I don't know. When I made a working copy of this one, I don't really know what I did, but I need to go back and try to maybe do a bit more and make it again, because it's a little blurry for some reason. And I mean, I put the piece down on my printer that has a copier to it, and I just press copy. So I have no idea how I made it, because it's not like it's in a book and you have to hold the top down or something, but for some reason I made it blurry. Now let me just look real quick. Are any of these that you've seen so far part of I Spy? No, it doesn't look like it. Okay. And actually, ironically, this one is not part of I Spy, but it is part of a month-long June plan. So and I have it for hashtags, so I know to list Crow Stitcher. Crow Stitcher has a hashtag, and I think this is not the first year that they've done it. Hashtag June Dog. And you know that I have fish and chips from Long Dog, and it's my only one. So I thought, well, how perfect. I generally stitch on it once every 4 weeks and get 500 stitches in. But I said for the month of June, this is going to be my focus. Oh, I have a stray thread here, and I don't have any scissors near me. Do I have any scissors? Nope. Okay, you're going to see a fun stray thread that I didn't cut off. I'm with it today. So I said, well, you know what? This is going to be my monthly 100 stitches a day piece, and so that by the end of June, I can get at least a minimum of 3,000 stitches on it. And so that's what I'm going to do. Let me show you. First, let me show you this beautiful, gorgeous piece of fabric. This is an 18 count. It was from Black Friday, part of a blue-green pack from Dying for Cross Stitch. Now, I don't know if Kathy has notes for what her recipes were for the 3 different colors. But, I mean, look at this. Look how beautiful this blue is. And it is just gorgeous. Now, this is 18 count, remember, but I'll need to ask her. I've said this before. I should ask her if she has something like this that she would dye in the future, or if she already has something on her site like this, but it's beautiful. Speaking of Dying for Cross Stitch, if you follow her on Facebook, she gives a little sneak peek of what the monthly fabric of the month is going to be, because basically she tells you what it is and you decide whether or not you want to order it. You don't like join or anything. It's just, and she showed what June's going to be. And then she also has a new color she introduced. And she introduced a few colors for flosses, and they're all beautiful. So I suspect, oh, I have another stray. I suspect that I will be buying from Kathy shortly. And I actually have an order that I bought, because I did get the fabric of the month for May, although I did it at the end of the month. I barely got myself in there with that. Okay, so let me do this so you can see where I am. I do a front start on this because it's one strand of floche, white blanc floche. And there's a couple places, and because I do the loop start from the front, you can see like there's a stray here that I forgot to cut off, and there's another one somewhere else. And I'll be interested to see. So I'm still on one hank of the floche. So as I go along, I'll let you know if it takes more than that. It probably will. The first hank that I used, I did not know how to prepare it. And so I was kind of pulling it off in a way that knotted it up. So I know I'm going to lose some. I've since learned. I don't have percentages on this because I'm still transferring it all to Pattern Keeper. Unfortunately, it wasn't all transferred in before the start of the month. So I won't be able to see what percentage I went from on June 1st to June 30th, but I'll know what at the end by June 30th what the final percentage is. But I have been able to keep up with 100 stitches a day. So today is June, well, it's the 7th, but I haven't stitched yet today on this. So it's gotten 600 stitches so far this month. Ish. There might be, you know, if I go over a little bit, that's fine too. I work my way through the strand. So that's where it is. And I'm jumping all around in all the sections. And I know many of you mentioned that Pattern Keeper and Long Dog samplers sometimes don't play nice around the page breaks. So I am, thank you for that reminder, because I would not have remembered that. I am kind of being a bit vigilant when I get to that. What I want to do is just take the working copy I have printed off and just look through it. I think there's 6 pages to this pattern, so it's not a ton. I just need to take the time to stop and do that, and then I won't have to worry about it anymore. Okay, so normally Fish and Chips replaced, I usually do at least 2 full coverages in the course of a week. Usually one I do for the entire month, or I have been. That's been one of my newest routines this year. And then I take another one and I work on it for 1,000 stitches. And whenever that 1,000 stitches gets done, then I change to another one. And, oh, you know what? That's what I brought my book over for, so I could tell you what I did this one with. Here we go. Okay. So obviously Fish and Chips is taking the one of the full coverage for the month, but that's okay because I'm loving the idea of the stitch along, and I will get some good progress on it. But in the meantime, I'm still rotating another full coverage, and I pulled out, this one hadn't seen any work this year. So I've looked through, I didn't bring any of them over. I keep notes now, I've started this year, of keeping information about my full coverages on library cards. And then when I work on it for a rotation, I'll put down what I stitched on it. And this one, and then I just keep them in a pile. And once I've worked on it, it goes alphabetically at the bottom of the pile. And then I have just the ones I haven't worked on yet. And I'll start to go through those and see what I need to work on. Well, this one hadn't gotten work yet. And so I figured I would do it. This is Mini Peridot. It is charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. And the artwork is by Rachel Anderson. So that's what it looks like. I have several of these in the minis, and I do have, you can get them, some of them have been requested and charted with no backgrounds. And I debated, but I do like the backgrounds. It's confetti heavy, and I'll probably regret it in the end, but, you know. Megan's birthday is August, and it's Peridot, so I said, yeah, I'll stitch this one. Now the colors are, I'm curious when I get to her, because those are pretty bright, which I really like. I think I've heard that these are darker than what they show and appear on screen. That's all right. I think it'll still be pretty when it's done. Let me show you. I know it doesn't look like much, but it is in Pattern Keeper now. And that's going to make a huge difference, because if you notice up here, there's a lot of confetti. And so, and I'm all the way down here, so you can see this. It's not super long. It's a mini. I want to say I'm at 20. I didn't write it down. I'm at least 20% with it. So you can see, I mean, I've just got a little bit around the border and I'm already at 20%. But I did some down here. I filled in confetti. One day I just didn't feel like doing confetti and counting, and this was all one color. I think actually a day and then part of another day. And then I did some over down here as well and filled in. So I actually really did enjoy it because, you know, with Pattern Keeper now, I can click on that symbol and I can just find it and go to town. And when I stitch on it, I've been doing it at night recently, my full coverages, because it's easier just for me to look at the screen at night versus a paper pattern. And I've been able to get around 200 stitches in the evening when I work on it. So this took me about 5 days of work, and I ended up putting in for the rotation 1,076 stitches. So there we go. This is 18 count white Aida, 2 strands over 1 full cross. And that is what all my full coverages are on. I do want to try some on either 20 counts, 22 counts, or 25s. I just haven't done that yet. I do have a full coverage start planned, I think next week. I'll talk about that in plans. I'll probably default to 18 because I like doing that, to be honest with you. But obviously, depending on the sizes, that gets to be big, right? Whereas a 25 might be kind of nice. So at some point I will. Now that I know how to do kind of like a 1 strand start, I can still do a 1 strand loop start. So that makes life easier. And I do like 1 strand a bit more because of it. Speaking of 1 strand, oh, this is a I Spy. What did I use this for? Something that makes you grouchy. That's right. This is Earth Laughs from Jan Hicks, and the Cosmo floss is what makes me grouchy. And I'm sure their floss is lovely and wonderful. It's just for whatever reason. And I've got the lengths literally. They're this long now. I go from here to about halfway to my arm, and that's the length I do. I did kind of the boring bits this time around, but you know, they need to be done. And it was basically, I just did border, and I did border on both sides. So I did border down here, and I think I was here, and I had to bring that all the way around. So far we are still lining up. I was concerned that I would run out of floss because the border is all, and then the words "the earth laughs" are all. So I figured I don't want to do more of the wording in case I run out. So I want to get the border done. If I had to pull the words out, then so be it, I would. But I mean, I'm not pulling out all this border at this point, and that needs the same color. I could stitch, I've done the word "in", flowers is also in purple. So I might do that because you know how I like to count borders off of symbols and so on and so forth. You'll notice this one is not done in the middle because that is at page breaks. This one I printed off a working copy. This is my first 20 count that I did ages ago now, it feels like. Doesn't that 2 years ago feel like age? In some ways it feels like ages, and some it feels like it was a blink. But it was my very first attempt at 20 count, and I did 1 strand with it. So I'm gonna love this in the end, but it does make me a little grouchy right now. Every month I've determined though to find a prompt or a letter in acrostic or some sort of challenge where this will come out, because I would really like to get it done. It's a beautiful pattern. Jan Hicks her patterns are gorgeous. But so 20 count, what did I say? Ice blue to dye for fabrics. To dye for currently is on sabbatical. So, but you can find blues like this, certainly. I would know because you know me in blue. So yeah, so I made myself kind of do the boring part, so to speak. But the border, if you keep counting it properly, you're fine, and it just repeats itself. Now, I think I'll be all right. Again, I made a mess out of this. Look at this, because when I pulled it, but I do have a decent amount of this left, of the floss. So I think I'm going to be fine. But I know originally I got a little nervous because I really wasn't sure what was going to happen. And then I had only ordered 1 of each skein. I had found them on a shop on Etsy because it took me a little while to find them. I'm sure now they're being used even more, that they're more readily available. This was a couple years ago. Okay, next one. This one is a monthly piece that I have been working on, and it is June's Honeysuckle by Cottage Garden Samplings, and it is part of the My Garden Journal series of 12. Now, this one is going to look different. When I did this last year, and I do like it the way it is, to be honest with you. I don't know why, but I chose not to do the bees in the corner. So I had to do a lot of math, and I did this green design. I started from the corner this way, and then this green design, I came down this way. And I am already down to this corner, so, and moved on. So I'm fine here math-wise. I have not gotten over here yet. So I'm hoping I can still figure out my math this way. That will be a problem for a future Laura. But the first time I looked at it, I was trying to figure out how in the world, why did it look so different? And then I realized what I had done. But I have to remember now, I can't count anything off of this top border because it's different. So, you know, it is the way it is. This is what I have. And the main thing I wanted to start was, as you can see here, the letters are 2 different colors. And I wasn't really thrilled with, I think this was one of them, and I wasn't a huge fan. This is 352. And I was thinking it was just a little too kind of peachy for me. So I ended up going with, I pulled out, let me see, it should be in here because I have been stitching. Oh, 3350. And this is not, I don't believe this is actually part of the pattern at all. This is an extra color I brought in, and I am just doing the words one letter. I've been finding that I myself, one color I should say, that I prefer doing them just the one color. For me, it just works a little bit better. So that's what it looks like. And, you know, like I said, there's been a little bit of finagling, and I have to kind of be very careful. I have to count over from here and so on and so forth. This is the edge here. What I might do, I might start and go backwards and come up and then figure out that final corner last. But I need to get the words in before I can do the flowers, because I have to count the flowers off of the words. So I'm almost done with the word honeysuckle, so then I can maybe start some flowers. I don't always work on this every week in the course of the month. The beginning of the year, I had several finishes of these. I want to say January, February, maybe March. But I know April I did not finish, and May I didn't finish. So they will be 2025 finishes instead. Oops, let me put this 352 back in there. I don't think it's used anywhere else in the pattern, but just in case. Okay, this next one was another I Spy. No, it wasn't. It was an I Spy last month because it reminded me of my mom. But speaking of my mom, if I can find it. Oh, goodness. Oh, there it is. My mom's birthday was this past week, and so I stitched on it on her birthday. And this is Ireland, and it is from Vlada XStitch. And I'm not stitching the letters. I'm just doing the country. And I've talked about this before, about, you know, me and the greens and how I feel about them. You can tell I was tired because I was doing some of the brown, you know, kind of the cliff, and I just got tired and stopped stitching and left it stranded back there. But this is where I am right now. This is 18 count champagne from Hand Dyed by Rolanda. And I have, this again is in a page break. I am using a paper copy. In hindsight, I should have, well, I didn't have Pattern Keeper at the time. I could I don't know if Vlada XStitch is compatible, but I certainly could try. But we have a page break like right about here and right about here. So, you know, obviously it's been a little slower going, which is why then I started to come down here. I think I just stitched on this on my mom's birthday on the 4th. So it didn't get a ton of work, but I would like to keep going with it. It'd be nice to get a 2024 finish on this. I don't know because I still have a good, you know, chunk down here to do, but we'll see. And I don't know if you remember, if you've been with me for a while, I did from Vlada XStitch, I did Delaware. again, I didn't put the word in, I just stitched the state. For the life of me, I cannot find that finish. It's not fully finished. I know that. I need to fully finish it. And I was going to scrapbook it. And maybe, you know, I was going to scrapbook it and take some, you know, take some pictures. And I can't I've looked everywhere and I don't know. It's not in, I'm almost sure I didn't show it to you in December when I showed you my finishes, but not full finishes bin. So who knows where it is? I'm hoping it's in a very, it probably is, a very, very, very safe place. Alrighty, I have a new start. This is my one new start, and I'm looking at my book here. Oh, Something Found in a Garden. Yep, I did use this for I Spy. And this is Wings of Change by Silver Creek Samplers. And I want to say, nope, this piece doesn't have the copyright. I want to say this is a fairly new one. Let me see if I can quickly see. I don't know about you, but when I'm looking for copyrights, I can never find them. Oh, 2024. So yeah, it takes me forever to actually find them sometimes. I am starting this with a couple different people, and Chris is actually, and already did it all, and it looks gorgeous, did this flower in 2 shades of purple, and it is so, so pretty. So if you would like to do a change to purples, a light and a dark purple, it works, believe me, because like I said, it looks fantastic. I am not as far. I did get 2, I started with the flower because I start in the upper left generally. And let me fold this over a little bit more. I went with a little bit darker fabric. This is kind of done on a, I think it's a gray, but you know, it's got kind of blue notes and blue tones to it. And if you look at it from a distance, it looks kind of blue. So I could have certainly done something like a Nantucket Sky or something or other, but I went deeper. And that's what I have. I have 2 different, I pulled in the 2 different colors of the pinks to see how they looked on the blue. This is an 18 count. It's called Bell Bottom Blues by Hand Dyed by Rolanda. And I think the colors are going to look pretty on it. I am on the butterfly. That's the only thing I'm not using the DMC called for. I pulled out, and I think this is the one I'll use. Because I love autumn colors, I have different shades of like variegated deep oranges. This one's called Pumpkin Spice by Stitchy Stuff. And so I think the inside of the butterfly, I might do that. If I decide to do another one, I'll let you know. And I'll let you know when I get to it. But like I said, I can't reach it. I'm obsessed with like deep oranges because I love autumn colors. So I'm very eclectic, and I just pick colors of variegated that I like, and not specific projects generally. And I seem to gravitate everywhere to the deep kind of the burnt sienna sort of look. Anyway, so that's where I am. I think I'll try to get, you know, more of the flower done, do some of the words. I may like leave the butterfly for the end. We'll see. I'm not sure. Or I may just want to get that done and then just keep working top down. But that's it. So there is a hashtag if you want to join us. It's hashtag butterfly wings Sal. So there's double S's there because wings and then Sal. Feel free. And if you do end up doing so and putting it on social media, please tag me so that I can see what your choices of fabric are. And if you've changed it, I would absolutely love to see it as well. Okay, so there's that. Next, this one was used for I Spy. Yes, it was. Something that starts with the letter J. There's a jar in my Alice in Wonderland tree. And this is Tiny Modernist. And because I'm making this part of a collection, I'm using the same exact fabric that I stitched the Wizard of Oz one tree on as well, which I finished not that long ago. So this is an 18 count. It's opal blue ice. So I don't know if you can see the sparkle, but the opal was fantastic for, you know, the Wizard of Oz look. And I think Alice in Wonderland being kind of fantastical as well, the opal will look nice. And again, all of the colors work. The white pops good, you know, nicely. So I don't have to worry about that because there are pieces of, you know, white here and there with it. And I have the body of the flamingo. The legs are backstitch, and I will generally do the backstitch. There's a little bit more backstitch on this one than there was in Wizard of Oz. I still probably will wait and do it all at the end, just because that's when I like to do it. when there's not too much. If there was a ton, I would try to do it as I went along. And so I finished my leaves. They're done. Started to bring this down. I've got the outside of the watch. So then the inside is all, I think it's all just white. And then everything else is back stitched. The little, you know, numbers and the dials, the hands. That's what I'm looking for. And then I did the flamingo. So I feel like I got some good progress on this one. I'm sure this will come out again at some point. Now, there is a stitch along here with this one that I just jumped on the bandwagon. It's hashtag Tiny Alice Sal. Allison from Cross Stitch the Globe, she finished this. And then Fanny from Soul Stitchers. I believe I had that right. I'll check and obviously put the information in the description box. They started the stitch along and I said, well, I love it. And it matches Wizard of Oz, and I am just going to jump on the bandwagon. So that's what I did. Now mine will take, Wizard took me a year to do, which actually I thought was pretty good because there's a lot to it. This one will take at least a year as well. Okay, next. This is the one I was really hoping possibly to get done and come with you with a finish. But there's a lot of little color change. I'm at the point where there's a lot of color changes at the end, and I just couldn't do it. This one got over 500 stitches this week because I did, for 5 days, I made it 100 stitch a day kind of thing. And then I kind of got burnt out for the last couple days, and so I stopped. This is Blue Dreams by Barbara Anna Designs. And this will be finished this year. I'm not 100% sure it will be finished this month. I really would like to. But there's just like little bits and pieces here and there, and you're pulling it out for a few stitches and then not, and so on and so forth. And I struggled. I'm not going to lie. I struggled with motivation on it a little bit. So I did stop. This is where I am. I love this fabric. This is a 18 count. It's called Tropical. Let me show you my fabrics by Stephanie. Isn't it beautiful? Now, I didn't use this exact one for, was it Sailing Girl? Dreaming of Sailing? I don't remember exactly what it's called. The previous Barbara Anna that I did on the same type of fabric as this. And so there'll be a collection in the scrapbook. One, because they're Barbara Anna. 2, they're summary. And then, you know, 3, they have this kind of that same color palette. This one's darker. That one had a lot more lighter blues. I mean, I love it. I absolutely love it. I needed a break. So I am going to do, this one was part of I Spy, and I pulled it out because one of the challenges was your project closest to a finish. Now I have several that are closest to a finish. I really thought this week, if I just did this every day, I could get it done. But like I said, over 500 stitches and I still didn't get it done. So I need a little break from it. I've pulled out something else that you'll see next week's video that I'm going to push towards a finish, and hopefully it's closer. Or I might be like, all right, now I'm going back to Blue Dreams. I don't know. Sometime this summer, this will be finished though. And this most definitely will be scrapbooked. And I was thinking about it because if you remember, several years ago, I stitched Coastal Cola, and I stitched it on this type of fabric color scheme as well. So I might put those, I'll put that one, these two would be like a side-by-side spread, and I'll put that other one either at the beginning or the end. I think it would be the same book. Maybe not. Coastal Cola might be in the small book. I'll have to see. It'd be nice to have all of them together because that would be, even though that's a different designer, it would still be kind of brought together cohesively with the pattern and the colors and the patterns. So we'll see. But some point this summer, you will see this one done, and very much a scrapbook finish on that one. All right. I have one last one. That's it. Only one more. And, and Barbara Anna does have a hashtag. I started that. I looked in my book because I couldn't remember the name of the fabric. Or I looked in my notes from my whip parade at the beginning of this year. And I started it July 1st, and we do have a hashtag. It's hashtag Stitch Barbara Anna, which means it's an ongoing. It can go as long as Barbara Anna keeps pulling out patterns and designing new things. Then we have lots to stitch. But feel free to use that hashtag and feel free to tag me because I love Barbara Anna. I'd love to be enabled by more of her stitches. I know I'm almost sure I have at least one waiting. These are where I have my paper patterns. And so, I mean, I have something, but I'm easily enabled. So if there's something that you start stitching and it looks amazing, I might have to jump on board with you. All right, last one. I've taken out, because I've taken fish and chips out for this month of the 4-piece rotation. This may get, because this was at the start of the month, this might get 2 times this month, because now I didn't slip anything else in fish and chip spot. Spring Quaker, Summer Quaker, and Black Vintage are now the other 3 in that kind of, weekly rotation. And this was the next one up. And this is Spring Quaker. So that's what it looks like originally. I changed it like all over the place. Fabric is a little bit different. The colors are completely different, and I just love it. So let me show you where I am. Actually, I don't need to fold that bottom part. So there it is. Let me hold it out for the big. This is the corner, so that's the width of it. This is an 18 count. It's called Rose Hips, and it is from Under the Sea Fabrics. It was a fabric of the month last year, and it came at just the right time. And I said, oh, I love that. Because originally I was going to do brown, and pink and brown is an awesome color combination. But then you can see, if I bring it up close, I did different shades of greens. Now, there is a green as one of the called fors, so that just fit in seamlessly with some of the other stuff. And my stitching at this point, let me do this, and then I'll fold over this way, is over, oops, the tag's in the way, is over here. So this whole corner, I have one leaf I forgot to do. I had originally made a mistake because I changed the words to a brown rather than the black. And I forgot that, and I started to stitch the stems of this in the called for black. And then I realized how stark it was. I pulled it out. And so I'm restitching all of that. And I can see where the black was. So I have one more stem right here to do. And do I have, nope, that's it. So it looks kind of like a spot there, but there's nothing there. So that's all done. This is almost all done. Brought down these letters here. So I feel like I did get, well, I know I got my 500 for the week, all kind of just in that section. What's lovely is that I now have 3 corners, 3 out of the 4 corners done. And I suspect I will come down this way and work this way, and then probably finish with the middle. I have to say, when I first saw this piece, it was the middle. I almost bought it just to stitch the middle. And then I thought about it. I'm like, do I want to do that? So on and so forth. And then I don't know if summer came out and it made me revisit spring. I'll stitch all 4 of them. Now, obviously, autumn, if you've seen it, is not in the same shape as spring and summer are. And I do have changes on that one because I want to change the words. So maybe in the fall I'll give that a start. But there's some work on that. And I'll have to see, I haven't picked fabrics or anything, if I would do those called for colors. I usually like fall colors, so that probably will be okay. And I could see using more browns in that one. So we'll see. So that is my stitching for the week. Hope you liked it. And I don't know hashtags, but there are a lot of different Spring Quaker stitch-alongs. So if you were thinking about starting it and you want to check the calendar, what's nice is, they show the picture of the piece. So if you're looking for a specific piece, you can scroll down. If it's something like, say, the current Strawberry Moon hashtag or June Dog hashtag, those obviously, there's a wide range of things you can use, or My Stitch Barbara Anna. But if you want to try looking for a specific piece, you can also do it that way and see what stitch alongs are going on right now. Plans. So I Spy, like I said, I did get started with it. So I did pretty good actually. And I am no good at lettering, as you can see. This lettering needs work. But I did do the June cover page, and I just used a honeycomb stencil and some ink. And just, you know, it's not purposely like light and dark. It's because I'm not great at that kind of stuff. But you've seen my scrapbooks. You know I'm pretty much clean lines, and I'm not artistic in the way of like using inks and paints and distress and this and that. That's never been my strong suit. And you can clearly see, look at, what I should have done was I should have done my letters in pencil first, and I decided to freehand it. So they're clearly, they start big. Look at this U, and then they get really small, but that's okay. So anyway, this is my I Spy, and I have 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 5 out of the 10 completed, and I will probably pull the other 5 and maybe work on them this week, or at least 3 or 4 of them. So that will be almost done before the month really gets away from me. In my video, I did talk about there's different acrostics. I do have both the Crafts and Books and the Magazine Monthly acrostic that I'm working on. I did see that Late Night Stitchers has now started an acrostic. I already have these already planned and stuff, but I'll probably, if they continue to do it monthly, I'll probably join on with that. It's fun to see if I can get them filled out. And then I had talked about doing categories for Whip Warriors, if you'd watch the video at the end. But then I went through all of the events for Whip Warriors in June, and one of my all-time favorites is happening. So I scrapped categories, even though I think the letter was P, and I did have things for it. But I was like, nope, my favorite's happening, and I need to concentrate on that. So Whip Frenzy, which coincides with 24 hours across stitch, couldn't think of it, is next month, because I believe next month is the 24 hours of cross stitch. But what they did last time, and they've obviously done it, so I don't know if they'll do this each quarter as well. The month before, it's kind of like a Whip Frenzy, but it's called Riff Off. And so they give you an initial theme of something, and you have to tie one of your whips to that theme. And then you decide if you stitch 100, 200, I think, or 500 stitches per project. And then once you finish that, you have to connect that whip to the second whip somehow or other. It doesn't have to do the theme. And you just keep connecting your whips. And you can't repeat unless you've run out of whips. And I won't run out of whips because I have like 75, 80. But I really, really enjoyed it. I think if I look back, I think it was March. How many did I do? I did 9 total connections. So I want to say it's probably 5 or 6 days, but I think I did it just over kind of like a weekend, kind of like the 24 hours across stitch happens. So it's not this weekend, and I don't think it's next. I don't know. If you're part of Whip Warriors, check the events. Next week's video, I'll let you know if it's that weekend, or if you want to play along with something like that, or just do your own kind of thing with it. If you're not part of the group, it's fun to do some of these challenges to see if you like them. And then maybe when the group opens up again in November-ish, December-ish, you might want to join. So that's my plan with that coming up. I'm so excited. I really enjoyed that last time. And then I do have a full coverage start that I'd like to do. And that is my Dance at Midnight. And this is charted from Sunflower Stitches, and the artwork is by Rose Kahn. And if you are stitching anything Sunflower Stitches this month in their Facebook group, if you stitch one of their things, I think you have to do a start photo and a finish photo, and you stitch at least 100 stitches on one of their projects, you will receive a free project. I don't know if I don't know if they've shown what the free project is. I'm sure it's one designated project that they'll give to everybody that participates. But I mean, I'm not doing it for that. I wanted to start this anyway. But, you know, hey, if you are interested in giving Sunflower Stitches a try, it's a good month to give it a try. If you follow her Facebook group, you'll get the information on there. So I think some point this week I am starting this. I haven't cut my fabric yet for it. So it is in Pattern Keeper though. It is Pattern Keeper compatible. So I'm all ready to rock and roll there. So that is the start. Let me look in my container here. I'm thinking, so if that's next week's start, if I look at my calendar real quick, maybe somewhere on the 5th, maybe the 15th. That's a good day, right? It's halfway through the month. I will start The Uniqueness of Others by Yasmin's Made with Love. So if you want to join me, we can start that together. And then obviously first day of summer, I have a start planned with the balloons as well. And that might be it for June of plans. I mean, that doesn't mean anything, right? Plans are made to be fluid. And we just kind of roll with it and sometimes do a whole bunch of other things as well. But I think that's kind of where I am plan-wise. So I have one specific start I'm hoping to have started before I see you next week. Okay, so that is the stitching, the kind of what I did hands-on and what I plan to hands-on. Continue I Spy, start that Dance at Midnight. And I can't really plan for Riff Off because I don't know what the opening theme will be. They won't put that until it starts. So, and I don't know, that might be a code word challenge. So pay attention if you are looking to participate. You do have to, some of their challenges, you need to put a code word at the beginning and end photos, you know, just put it in a piece of paper and when you take your pictures. So just watch that if you're participating in that when it comes around. Alrighty, I did get a little bit of happy mail and I would love to share it with you. This was so lovely and sweet, and actually both of these were very unexpected. And I got a lovely, beautiful card from Annette, and she had said with my butterflies, it reminded, you know, kind of the card reminded me of that, reminded her of that. And it's awesome because I started my butterfly piece this week. And then this was on my wish list. I had not bought it. It might actually be on my 1, 2, 3 wish list. And now I don't have to stitch it. It's, look at this Mill Hill. I have this on my 1, 2, 3 wish list. And she read my mind and she stitched it and it's awesome. So now that I've shown it to you, I am going to hang it up on my hooks over there. I don't know if I have enough summer stuff to put on my my metal tree. Maybe I'll put this on there and then I can add things as I go. I don't know. It's going to get hung up after I see you. Isn't it wonderful? She did such a great job. I absolutely love it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You know, anything summerish, beachy, nautical, I'm going to love. And then Chris, who is stitching butterfly wings with, no, Wings of Change. It's Butterfly Wings Sal. First we have, and this is Stamping Up. I recognize these. I'm almost sure it's Stamping Up because I recognize these butterflies. We have a handmade card. Love it. And I love all the bright primary colors. It's so fantastic. And to go with the stitch along, we have a project bag. It has a lovely charm and a butterfly and a flower charm on the zipper. And look at the beautiful blue inside. I absolutely love this. So now that I've shown it to you, this had the Wings of Change. I'm gonna get it wrong. It's right on my notes in front of me. All I have to do is look at the notes. I'm gonna put Wings of Change in here. So thank you so much. It's blue and purple and it's butterflies and it's so pretty and I adore it. So thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, that's my happy mail and it truly did make me smile. Oh, I did get one other, I got a lovely box. Oh no, this was, I think it was sent, it was delivered separately from the mail and Mo was like, you got this big box. I said, oh, I don't know what it is. I honestly didn't know if I had ordered anything recently. And I said, oh, well, maybe somebody who was sending me a trading cards, you know, sent it in a box and then put a box in a box for it to be sent back to them or something. It was this incredible box of happy mail, but I knew this was going to be, you know, my videos are fairly longer and I did not want to rush through. There is some beautiful, beautiful items in there. So I will show that next week and I can't wait to share with you what was in there. It was fantastic. So yeah, it was just incredible. Okay, now shopping. I have two things of shopping for you to see, and really not that much. You know, if I say I shopped and you say, okay, it's probably fabric, you'd be right 90% of the time, right? And you are right this week too. Because, well, there's obviously fabric of the months, and then I am just, fabric is my, you know, we all have, some people like to buy scissors and they'll buy scissors even though they may not need them, or project bags, or I don't need fabric, but I love the pretty colors, and you know how much I use different types and variations. So that's the thing that I gravitate to is fabrics. Now the first one is the fabric of the month from Bestitchme, and I am in the color club, so I don't get neutrals. I've debated on getting both because I really do like Brandy's fabrics, but I'm not there yet, so I still, excuse me, just get the color. If you do not want to see it, please look away. I'm 18 count. I don't think the name is going to give it away, so I will say the name, but look away, it's coming now. It's called Middle Earth, and I'm going to open it actually. Now, more subtle, as usual. The camera always picks up the variations differently, right? It makes it more stark. This is more subtle. I have no idea what I'm stitching on this. The color is amazing. We have one section that's darker over here, lighter over here, so I could break it up somehow or other. All right, I'm gonna put it down. It really, I have no idea, but it is beautiful. And I will, it's funny how some of these you just don't know, and then a pattern comes along, and next thing you know, you're like, that is exactly what this pattern needed. So we'll see. And then I had mentioned Kathy from Dying for Cross Stitch, and I did end up getting her fabric of the month for May. Now these don't have names, and I do not know if they end up in her regular rotation. I'm not sure they do. So when I see them, I have to get them. Again, much more stark. It is not that stark in person. I mean, you can see the difference between the light and the dark, but it fades in much differently. And these are 18 counts. All I'm showing you is all 18 counts. So there was that. I said I have to get this. No idea what I'd stitch on it. And again, there are different sections and parts of it. So depending, you know, where I was using something. I mean, Kathy's fabrics are a good size. They are, does she put it here? No, she doesn't. But they are, I think they're larger than the traditional 18 by 21. So it's an amazing, what's awesome of that is when I have bigger projects like fish and chips, I go to the fabrics from Kathy, and you know, so much more fits on them because they are a little bit bigger. And then, you know that I had mentioned Hidden Harbor, and it's funny because on her Facebook page, she did reach out and say, I need more help because I don't have this, I don't have that dye lot anymore, or I didn't have the recipe for it. And so she dyed up some Hidden Harbor, or no, it's not Hidden Harbor, excuse me. That's an Andy Russell cross stitch. Harbor Haze. I knew the word harbor was in there somewhere. And I meant to pull out my other one so you could see, but this is 18 count Harbor Haze. And it is gray, but the blue gray. And I don't know if that's coming off on the camera. It's very, very pretty. But since she's added it to her website, I said, well, I definitely need some, because there's not, if I can't do blue, there's nothing better to me than a blue gray. That color scheme just is so soothing to me. And then I said, well, and she also hand dyes flosses. I think she might, I'm not sure if she does silks as well. I just look at the cotton flosses, to be honest with you. And I picked some up because, again, I am enjoying playing around and trying different colors. So I'm going to show you maybe against this lighter one here. I got two that are fairly similar, but they're kind of like a teal, and I do like the different teals. We have Empress is going to be on your left when you're looking at it, and Adrift will be on your right. And one is definitely got darker tones to it than the other, but they could also be used kind of to add totally dark to more light if you wanted to kind of combine them. So we have Empress and Adrift. So we have those two to start, because you know I need something that's in the blue tealish family. I saw this and I thought it was kind of fun. It's called Sand Dunes. I don't know if it'll, no, it's not going to show up. Let me show you against this. The white's kind of, let me do it against this gray. There we go. Sand Dunes. I thought that was a lot of fun. And then I told you I am obsessed with anything that is kind of fallish and orangish, reddish, burnt something or other. So we have, I picked up a few of these. This is called Everything Pumpkin. Anything that's named pumpkin, I'm just have to buy. And you know, I do have my pumpkin birthday stitch along every year, so you could see this would work because the floss would actually be named pumpkin. That'd be fun to do some sort of like monochromatic with. And then this one is called Sedona. Isn't that gorgeous? And the very last one is more on the red family. It's called Ruby. So that one's not as fallish. These two, though, really scream fall to me. And Kathy, I mean, I can't, her customer service is amazing. And she's quick. I ordered this, and within 4 days, I got a shipping notice. Now, okay, the fabric of the month, maybe she had some extra 18 counts dyed. Hidden Harbor, I mean, I don't know what count she has dyed. I don't know with the floss, you know, it's amazing how quick she ships. Even if it's a custom, I think it's 1 to 2 weeks. I mean, 1 to 2 weeks from a fabric hand dyer is amazing, you know, as opposed to 3 months, 4 months waiting for a piece of fabric. So if you're like, I want to start something and I want to start it within the next 3 weeks, Kathy is the person to check because she is phenomenal. All right, that's my shopping. All right, so giveaway. What did I do with my iPad? Oh, here it is. I took a picture of the winner. Thank you so much for all of you who checked out Christina's site, the Sweet Violet Stitch Co. You have to put the word stitch in there. And so many of you were encouraging to her site and her full coverage now that she's gone into that. And I'm super excited for her, and I hope she succeeds wildly. And the winner of the chart from her, so that you get to choose a full coverage chart of your choice, is Cheryl R5002. So Cheryl, if you could reach out to me and give me your email address, then I will send that on to Christina. If you want to tell me what you want, I'll let Christina know, or you can just work it through Christina. But congratulations. So if you could get back to me within the next 2 weeks, then we'll be good to go. Okay, so I do have, just to let you know, I had done a shipping because I do kind of hold my physical pieces, and I don't ship them every single week. I usually hold them till I have, 4 or 5 kind of ones. So I had done a shipping a few weeks ago. So the last couple of physical item winners, I have not shipped out yet. I'm getting the point where I'm adding enough that I will do one mass shipping. But just so you know, it's not that they've gotten lost or anything. I just do them in batches now rather than doing this every single week. It's just easier for my trip to the post office, especially now this time of year, because traffic is just, it's off the wall. Between now until the end of summer, I can't go anywhere without tons and tons of traffic. So it just makes life easier. All right, so this week, these were sent to me, and I'm just not, they were sent to me. If I wanted to try them, great. If I wanted to use them as giveaways, that was fantastic as well. And I would like to share with you, because I'm just not sure linen will ever be my thing, and that's okay. Like, for those of you who stitch on Aida, don't feel like you have to do even weave, or don't feel like you have to do linen. If you are perfectly happy with what you're doing, then, I mean, sometimes I'm always like, and I don't think people mean it when they say this, but they're like, oh, yeah, you've started on Aida, but you'll be doing linen or this and this in no time. Well, maybe I don't want to. Maybe you don't want to. Don't feel like you have to. There's nothing wrong with us being Aida stitchers, and sometimes I don't think people realize how they make it sound, that for some reason that our goal should be linen when it doesn't have to be. So that's a long about way of saying I've got some linen to share with you. And this is going to be a 2-piece for one winner. You're going to get a green and you're going to get a cream. Now these are both Zweigart Belfast 32 count linen. And I'll show you in the green because it's easier to see. This is the size. I forgot to measure. I meant to take out the ruler and measure. But that's the size of the two of them. So they're the same exact size. But I thought, you know, I mean, obviously if you wanted to go dark for something with the summer, or if you wanted to do a much more neutrally piece, you've got the two options. So I'm going to ask you to say the word, because we are hot and sunny and muggy and everything else, to say the word sunshine. Sunshine, one word, all together at once. And all of those, I will search for sunshine the next time I do the giveaway pull, and I will send these to the winner. As usual, please be at least 18 so I can get your address. Please don't say giveaway free, all those kinds of words. And I would absolutely appreciate it if you were a subscriber. Thank you. So that's it, sunshine. Because I love it. If you love stitching on linen, go for it. I think that's awesome. But also don't feel like that has to be the end goal. I don't feel any less because I stitch on Aida. Alrighty. That's it. That's everything. If that's all you're here for, then I hope you have a fantastic week, and I will see you next time. Life is pretty quiet, so this is probably going to take all of 2 minutes, which is great, you know. My mom, like I told you, my mom's birthday was this week, and my mom lately, she won't answer her phone when you call her. I don't know why. I talked to my brother about it, and he doesn't know why. Even when she calls him and say he's at work and he calls her back, she won't answer from him. And she'll only call my brother. I think it's just, that's her comfort piece, you know. I mean, it's not that she's, you know. So Connor actually, there was a snafu with Connor's summer, I don't want to call it an internship. I don't necessarily think it's that. It's summer job. And because of that, it couldn't start until a couple weeks from now. So Connor had some time to kill. And my in-laws had said, whenever you want, our house is always open to you if you want to just get a break over the summer or anytime. And so Connor decided to take a trip to Connecticut, visit with my in-laws, and then my mother-in-law and Connor went to go see Mom yesterday and visit with her at the nursing home. And so Connor set up a FaceTime call, so I was able to call and talk to Mom that way. And, you know, they're asking, oh, what's going on in Delaware? How's Delaware and all that other stuff? And I'm like, I don't know what to tell you because it's pretty darn quiet. Mo's playing pickleball left, right, and center. And I'm, you know, I'm doing my stitching and so on and so forth. And we're trying to get out. I did actually stitch significantly less this week because I am finding with the nicer weather, I'm a little bit scattered and flighty brain-wise, and I can't quite sit and concentrate on the stitching as much. So I don't know if that's going to be an all-summer thing or if it's a change of season thing or what. I mean, I still feel like I had a decent amount to show you, but it might be a little bit less over the course of the summer months. And we did go grab our acai bowls and went down to the beach one morning. That was lovely again. That might be our weekend routine if we don't have anything else going on. So I'm super excited. I said to Mo, we probably will have to go a little bit earlier because it's getting a little muggier and hotter. So, you know, an acai bowl in 90-degree weather is going to melt pretty quick. So, you know, we want to go when it's a little bit less hot. I'm trying to think other than that. Mo has been determined to get his serve on pickleball because that's the one thing that he's not great at. So he's been, like I said, going and practicing and he's tried to find other people that he can serve too, just so that they can, you know, not play, but just him keep practicing the serve. So he's getting there, I guess. I don't know. I started a new PT place and I really liked them, and this is the only time, and that's another thing with the stitching. So obviously I'm sitting here for this video, but I do have to make a concerted effort every half an hour. I need to get up and move around and just not stay in that position so that we can open up the mobility in the joints again. And you know how it is, you get engrossed in your stitching, but having to kind of pull yourself out of that and kind of get up and stuff has also kind of thrown me off a little bit. But obviously it's for the good in the long run. So I'm going to do my homework and do the best I can with that, and we'll see. And that's about it. That's about all I got. So that's plenty. You've got other Flosstubers to watch. You've got Sunshine, or you're in the if you're in the other part of the world, you know, maybe you are in more because it's starting to get colder. I don't know, but lots of people and fun people to watch. So I don't want to take up all of your time. I so appreciate, if you are still here, you taking the time to watch and to hang out with me and all of that lovely, lovely stuff. So I hope you're well. I hope you're safe. I can't believe we are into June already, but let's just have as best a possible June as we can have. And until next time, happy stitching.